You think you understand what makes us like you. You feed us. You play with us. You live in the same space. And in many cases, that feels like enough. Most people assume we either like you or we don't, that it's fixed, that it's personality. But that's not always the full story, because from our perspective, how we feel about you is not decided once. It's shaped quietly every single day. I am Mewy, and we've been watching you, not just what you do, but how you do it. And there are small things you repeat without realizing that slowly change how we see you. Some of them bring us closer, others push us away. And the strange part is you rarely notice because they feel normal, but they're not neutral. And if you've ever wondered why we sometimes stay distant, why we ignore you, why we choose the other room, this is where it begins. And the first one is not about the toy. It's about how you move it, because what you think is play may not even register as real. And the next one is where most people start to realize they've been getting this completely wrong. 1, play like prey, not like a toy. You think we ignore your toys, that we're picky, that we don't like what you bought. But in many cases, it's not the object. It's the way it moves. From an instinctive perspective, we are hunters. And hunters don't chase things that come directly toward them. We chase things that try to escape, that disappear, that reappear, that hesitate. That pattern triggers something inside us. Example, you wave a toy in front of us, left, right, and we watch, not moving, because it doesn't feel real. But when you change it, everything changes. You drag it behind a corner, let it disappear, then let it peek out, and suddenly our body lowers. Our eyes widen, our focus sharpens, because now it feels alive. And in many cases, when we experience that, we don't just enjoy the moment. We remember you as the source of it. And that changes something quietly, but deeply. But excitement alone is not enough, because the next one is where connection either builds or quietly breaks. 2, let us come to you. You reach for us. You call us. You try to bring us closer, because to you, that's affection. But in many cases, that's pressure. From an instinctive perspective, we value control more than contact. We don't move because you asked. We move because we decided. Example, if you keep reaching, calling, lifting, something changes. We don't move closer. We move away. Not because we don't like you, but because the choice is no longer ours. And in our world, that matters more than you think. But when you do something different, when you sit nearby without asking, without reaching, without expecting, something shifts. We watch, we wait, and then we come to you. And in many cases, that moment means more than anything you could have forced. But that's only part of what's happening, because sometimes we are already speaking and you just didn't recognize it. 3, the slow blink you keep missing. You think we're just looking at you. Maybe bored, maybe tired, but in many cases, something else is happening. From an instinctive perspective, direct eye contact is not neutral. It can be tension, a challenge, a warning. So when we look at you and slowly close our eyes, that's not random. That's a choice, a shift. Example, we look, pause, and then we blink slowly. And if you respond the same way, something changes, because now we're not just sharing space, we're sharing trust. According to research, cats are more likely to approach humans who respond to this signal, which means this small moment can reshape how we feel. But most people miss it completely. And that's where distance begins. But not all signals are visible. Some of them exist in ways you don't even notice. 4, we hear your voice differently. You talk to us sometimes loudly, sometimes playfully, sometimes like we're far away, and you wonder if we care. We do, but not in the way you think. From a behavioral perspective, we respond to tone, rhythm, familiarity, not just words. Example, a loud, sharp, high-pitched voice feels very different than something softer, closer, calmer, and in many cases, we respond more to the version of your voice that feels safe. According to studies, cats recognize their owner's voice and respond differently compared to strangers, which means we're not ignoring you, we're filtering. And when your voice feels like you, we listen. But connection is not only sound, and this is where many people start to get it wrong. 5, where you touch matters more than you think. You reach down and touch wherever you want because to you, it's all the same. But in many cases, it's not from an instinctive perspective. Certain areas of our body are linked to comfort others, to sensitivity. Example, you touch our belly, we react. You think we changed, but we didn't. That area was never an invitation. It was vulnerability, trust, not permission. According to research, we prefer being touched around the cheeks, the base of the ears, under the chin, because those areas connect to scent, to bonding, to familiarity. And when you get it right, something shifts. We relax, we stay, we trust. But when you don't, we pull back quietly and slowly, and that shift is rarely noticed until it becomes distance. But the deepest layer is not touch or sound. It's something else entirely. 6, we live in a world of scent. You see your home, we smell it. Every surface, every object, every change. From our perspective, scent is information, identity, safety. Fun fact, cats rely on scent far more than vision, especially in unfamiliar environments, which means we don't recognize places, we recognize what they smell like. Example, when we rub against you, we leave our scent, not randomly, but intentionally. We are marking, connecting, defining, and when you carry that scent, something changes. You don't just exist, you belong. And in many cases, this is when we stop seeing you as just someone in the space and start experiencing you as part of it. But when that scent disappears too quickly, too often, that connection resets and we have to rebuild it again and again. But when the scent remains, when the environment feels consistent, you become something else. Not just a human, not just a presence, but something familiar, something safe, something closer, and that is where everything changes. So if you've ever felt like we don't like you, or don't care, or don't respond, it may not be what you think. Because in many cases, we've been responding the whole time, just not in the way you expect it. We don't measure connection the way you do. We measure it in patterns, in space, in choice, in safety, and in the small moments you almost ignored. In many cases, We didn't ignore you. We just stopped expecting to be understood. You might call it affection. We tend to experience it as feeling safe enough to stay a little closer than we have to. If you're starting to see us differently now, then maybe this time you didn't just notice. You actually understood